All right. Okay, everyone, I'm really thrilled to introduce our last artist for the evening. We have Benjamin Lapalainen, who is a, yes, give it up for Benjamin. Benjamin is a creative technologist, educator, and multidisciplinary artist. His creative practice focuses on building interactive audiovisual experiences and tools that put the inner workings of concepts ranging from physics fundamentals to emerging technologies on display, demonstrating fun and fascinating applications while also illuminating potential dangers. Give it up for Benjamin, everybody. Yes.
It's very funny forgetting the things that you write about yourself for other people to read for you. Thanks for having me. It's exciting to be here. This is actually just my second Cool New Instruments night. I attended this quite a while ago. I've been to a couple exit points though. It was just the first one that I went to was really inspiring, just seeing the wide range of things that people have made and the kind of weird, unfinished, quirky stuff. So it was very motivating for me to kind of do my own thing. A little bit of background about, I guess, where I'm coming from with respect to why I wanted to build an instrument in the first place. I've done a lot of like software in the past. My kind of professional history is like product manager, software developer, somewhere in between those. And as a result, and as well as the art that I've made more recently has been entirely software, like pretty much no hardware. And I think there's certain like magical and ridiculously convenient things that software affords in terms of how you build something, because you essentially have a text file of code as like a very blank canvas, and you can kind of do anything, you can deploy it anywhere, and as long as you don't do something stupid, it'll run on most hardware, if assuming you know what you're doing. And I think as nice as that is in terms of software, I realized that pretty much everything that I was doing for both like my fun as well as my work was all on a screen, and I really just wanted more hands-on, I guess, like analog building hobbies and interests. I have an engineering degree, and I haven't really built anything physical, and that, I guess, just like felt like a very strange thing at this point in my life, and so I was like, oh, I want to build something physical. So signing up for this event was me giving myself a deadline to build something physical, because nothing motivates quite like a deadline. So this instrument is called OSCMOTO. It's just a combination of the words oscillator and motor. I wanted to build something, so my criteria for myself was to build something that did not use any code in order to kind of construct the sound synthesis. And I wanted it to be a little bit dangerous, like just a little bit. And so what better to do that with than just like a couple spinning motors, spinning things at relatively high speeds. So the instrument itself is relatively simple. It's a bass pickup that I got from a friend of yours, actually, off of Facebook Marketplace, and I only realized it was a friend of Michael's when I told him why I was getting the bass pickup. So that was funny. Bass pickup wired directly to an output jack, and then a very funny over-engineered setup with two motors. They have shaft couplers on them, which allows you to basically just connect something to a motor shaft. So normally if you were using like, if you were building like a remote control airplane or like a remote control car, you would attach like the shaft of like the wheel or a propeller to said motor. Instead, I have used it to connect, essentially I've made like kind of physical oscillators here in a way. So we have kind of the electronic stuff, and it's analog electronics that Brian did. But this one is using literally just magnets that are going to be rotating at kind of high speeds over a bass pickup, which is essentially the same premise as a string vibrating over a pickup. We've just all kind of done it in different ways. So this is, I guess, just a bit of a drone machine if I just have it going straight out. And so I guess it's biphonic in the sense that I have two motors spinning, and you can see, depending on how I tune them, we can get different beat frequencies happening. And would you look at that, when you build something with motors, it kind of sounds like a motor. But I thought, and as I personally, I was honestly a little bit underwhelmed with the output that I got. I was hoping, like with my initial theory, I was thinking, like, oh, if I put maybe like something that's like a ferrous metal piece that's like a triangle, will I get like a triangle wave out of it? And I tried a bunch of like different nuts and bolts. I found that putting anything like too eccentric in the motor just kind of created too many vibrations, and I don't know if you can hear it, but this thing is kind of vibrating in itself. Yeah, but I found when I switched to magnets, then it kind of produced a bit juicier of a signal. So that's like the direct out from the instrument. This very much feels kind of just like a test bed for this concept, and I think there's a lot of ways that I could build it in a way that's, I mean, the point was kind of it to be a little bit dangerous, but I think I can make it a little less scary, such that the motors can go up to higher speeds without putting anybody in danger. But the kind of future plan, assuming that I still like this concept, do you mind if we mute the out for a sec? The future plan is to turn this into like a MIDI driven instrument, because I was thinking it could be fun to take like this concept, and rather than just having like these little knobs which are controlling the speeds of the motors, to have that be driven by like an actual keyboard. And that way you could have like MIDI in, or however you want to get it to the device. And then that could control the speeds of the motors, ideally adding like multiple pickups, and then you could like gate the pickups, so that way you could have different chords and sounds playing and cut some of the ramps of like the motor speed. Yeah, but I did like last minute kind of hack today with this little digital signal processing board that I have, which basically just acts as like a pitch shifter with the patch that I currently have running on it, because I wanted to try to just emulate maybe like what that might sound like. Oh, okay. So this is literally just like a single tone that's coming out of the motor box, and actually without without it going into the speakers, you can hear it vibrating. Yeah, so the MIDI keyboard is literally just like gating the output through this box, and then pitch shifting it so that I can kind of use it as if it's like an oscillator that you're playing with like a traditional keyboard. And the only only difference between the two motors is that one, I put, I think, 4 magnets around like this little bit that I created just with a wooden dowel and some tape. And the other one just has a single magnet spinning around. So. And that's OSCMOTO.